So let's start with greatly simplified Tally Prime for GST. So in this, what we have done is some of you would have already witnessed these things in the partner conference, but now we are going to see those things in detail. Okay, the one is handling multi GSTN requirements for the business. So it's greatly now and simple to you, the businesses. And the next one is simple and more flexible and intuitive configuration with respect to GST configurations. And the rate setup for the GST has been now enhanced. The enhanced GST rate setup is available in the current release, in release 3.0, and faster access to GST returns. So many of our customers started using Tally for the GST returns, and some of them are having huge data. They were also giving feedback that it's taking time for us whenever we go to that report, because though the return filing is done only once in a month at the end of the month, next month, basically. So even during the month, many times they'll go to this report and they will review the report, they'll remove the exceptions. So there is a need of opening this report multiple times in a month. So this should have a greater experience, so that we have ensured in release 3.0, and a more seamless reconciliation experience. So these are five aspects which we have covered in greatly simplified Tally Prime GST for GST and in release 3.0. Good. Let's take the first one, handling multi GSTN made amazingly simple for the businesses. As you know, the businesses are managing their operations. Many of the businesses, I would say, managing their businesses with multiple branches. In case even some of them also have different states. Okay, so they wish to manage their data specific GST compliance centrally. So this is one of the need for the business owners. This is the need for the leadership in that company, where the maybe leadership means account manager, finance manager. They need this requirement. So the respective GSTNs have to be quickly accessed, okay, to their financial statements and other MIS reports. So let's understand with a business scenario. KBCL Private Limited, a company, they're into home appliance product, and they have two branches. One is Karnataka, other one is Telangana. And till now, the owner of this company, Mr. Praveen, managing or maintaining this data in a two different book of accounts. Okay, and because he's maintaining this book of accounts separately, whenever Praveen needs some consolidated information, the team has to put some effort, basically to consolidate and give this comprehensive report to Mr. Praveen. So that is leading to the actually delay in getting those required information, okay, to Praveen, and it also delays his decision sometimes. So to help Praveen to give the information, this consolidated information, okay, release 3.0 is one which actually gives flexibility to business, okay, to manage their state specific multi GSTN data in a single company. Okay, how this is addressed, I will just take you through the product walkthrough. And yes, the feature is multi GSTN. So managing all GSTN of your branches at once with greater simplicity and get instant access to report, showing a comprehensive view of all the GSTNs is actually a solution under this multi GSTN feature. So let's learn this one by one with a different use case. The first thing which I'm taking is how flexible it is to record the transactions when you are managing one data set for multiple GSTNs. Okay, I'll just show you the demo. Now, in this particular company, I have created two multi GSTNs. One is for Karnataka, other one is for Telangana. Now, the moment I actually entered on the voucher, sales voucher, you can see on top it is showing Karnataka registration, and you can also see there is a series which is mentioned for Karnataka is Karnataka series. So this is the voucher number series. Okay. Let me just pass a transaction now, a sales transaction for Karnataka. So in this particular organization, there might be two different operators who are actually entering transaction, or the same operator might be entering transaction for both the GSTN. So now once you complete this transaction, maybe the same user or another user may require to enter the transaction for another GSTN registration number. So for that, to switching to the another registration number, there is a key given here. It's called F3. Okay, by clicking on this button, now you can choose the another GSTN number. So now I would like to pass another sales transaction for Telangana registration. So you can see now on top, Telangana registration is shown, and also the Telangana voucher series has been displayed. Let me pass a sales transaction under Telangana. The transaction which I'm entering now, which belongs to Telangana registration. Okay, I'll just remind you once again, data is there on one company, but we are managing two GST number in the same company. Okay, so the requirement is basically to enter the transactions for two different GSTN numbers in a same company, which has been demonstrated now. Hope you all understood. I think you also like this. Okay, it is very easy and simple. Just clicking on F3, they can select the different GST number and pass the transaction. So like I've shown it for sales, they can do it for any other transaction which they would like to record. So let's go to the next scenario. Yes, I have entered the transactions. The users are entered the transactions. So what about the returns? How returns looks like in the um, release 3.0? Let's have a look at it now. Now straight away I'll go to the GST reports. Under GST reports, I'll open GSTR1. So when you click on the GSTR report, you can see this particular GST report. It is showing for all registration. So this is one of the critical requirement by the Mr. Praveen. Praveen would like to know basically what is my return as a comprehensive view. So now he's able to see the comprehensive view of both registration number. Now, if he wants to see only for a specific registration number, again click on F3, select Karnataka registration. It is showing for only Karnataka registration. And if you go inside and see the transaction which is entered, it's for Karnataka registration. Similarly, if you want to see the transactions, the GSTR1 for Telangana registration, so you can just click on F3 and select Telangana registration here. So the return which is showing on the screen is for Telangana, and the transactions are also entered for Telangana. Similarly, for even GSTR-3B, when you click on 3B, it shows here the all registration GSTR-3B, and also you can look for the two different GSTN GST return of 3B separately. So how it is going to benefit Praveen here is, Praveen is a business owner. I'm just taking an example. So any point in time now, he would actually know, click of a button, what is my tax payable for the month? What is my input tax credit for the month, including both the branches. Okay. Let's move on to the next use case. What is the flexibility which is provided to generate returns as well as eBay bill generation and e-invoice generation? Okay, let's quickly go one by one. So first, let me take you to the return generation. So I'll go to GST returns. Now I want to file GSTR1. So when you click on GSTR1 and go to export and GST return, so Tally will show here on the screen the return for Karnataka, and if you go down, you can see the return for Telangana also. So you can choose here if you would like to actually file the return both, and just by clicking on send button, export button, you can generate the JSON file. Similarly, when you go to the GSTR-3B,
sir, I think one query is come up. Please show the changes.
Yeah, we'll take the query. Sorry.
So I think one query came up, sir, that please show the changes addition to be made in master's part of multi GST. So we can take it at the end only.
Yeah, please. We'll just not at the end. We'll finish this and we'll. I'll take it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. So now what we are looking at is for GSTR-3B. So in 3B also we can see consolidated view and the separate view. And next is generation of e-invoice and e-way bill. So since now we are maintaining the data set in one for both the registration, now the e-invoice which are entered for both the branches are shown on one return or on one screen. And you can basically go here and generate the e-invoice by clicking on send button. And you can also export if you want in the JSON format. Similarly, for e-way bill, when you go to the e-way bill for the particular month, so now on the, I'll just change the month here now. So now you can see the transactions which are participating in e-way bill, okay, are shown for both the registration. You can click on send or export button to generate e-way bill for the pending e-way bill transactions. Good. So what I will do, I'll just cover some of the FAQs, then I'll take the questions. Okay. Please give me a few minutes. So let me just cover some of your questions would have been clarified here. Okay. Some of the FAQs I've put here, common questions. So can I configure a common voucher numbering across GSTN for any specific voucher type? Yes. You can create
the screen. Next slide, I think the slide is same only.
Now.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just trying to answer one FAQ, that is, can I configure common voucher numbering across GSTN for any specific voucher type? Yes, we can create multiple series for a single voucher number or can have common voucher series across GSTN also. Okay, so let me just show you that. So now, for example, let's say you are creating a new voucher type. I'll just take sales order new something. So now when you come here, you will have an option to use this for common. So you can select any, or if you want to choose it for the separate specific thing, you can also choose. Okay, I want it for only Telangana. You can choose it for Telangana. And here we have an option, use common voucher numbering series for all GST registration. So this also can be enabled and to actually address that particular requirement. The next is, can I generate branch-wise financial reports like balance sheet and profit and loss account, etc. So this is very important. Partners need to understand this. The moment you say, okay, I have multi GSTN, this could go in the market saying, okay, we have now multi-brand solution. It is not a complete multi-brand solution, because the multi-brand solution and multi-GSTN requirements and solution are two different requirement and different solutions. So the whatever currently we have addressed, which is addressing actually and handled the multi-GSTN features from GST compliance perspective. Okay, the multi-branch accounting see, that's why we're not making a statement of multi-branch accounting. Okay, it's a different requirement altogether, and that can be addressed. Many of you know actually how to address that. That can be addressed separately. However, we are also working on that, and once that is ready, that solution also will be made available. But currently, the whatever you have seen, please read it properly as multi-GSTN. Okay, not multi-branch accounting. Yes. Some of the things to keep in mind before you deploying this multi GSTN and make the point clear to the customers, and you also please understand what are those things. Okay, we recommend customers under these circumstances to actually have a separate data set. For example, the first point, if you take, the organization wants GSTN branch-wise financial statement like balance sheet and P&L and trial balance. So for example, see, now I'll just quickly show you. Now, if I go to the balance sheet, see, it is showing a balance sheet. So whatever balance sheet you are showing, it is of both the registration, because in my company, both the registration data has been configured in one company. Okay, so the whatever financial report you will see, it's for the consolidated view. Now, if you ask me, can I have balance sheet for my Karnataka branch separately and my Telangana branch separately? No. So that is the requirement is not addressed. So if somebody is very keen in actually maintaining the data or getting the required reports in that format, then we recommend them to use separate data set. And the organization wants to allow its user to view only their specific GSTN branch-wise reports. See, now there are two GSTN under same data set. So whenever the report comes, if customer is asking these 4 users, they should have access to report only for Karnataka. Other 2 users, they should have access of getting the reports only for Telangana. So no, that requirement will not be addressed. And the organization want to allow its user to record the transaction only of their specific GSTN branch. So these are the some scenarios or questions which are not addressed, okay, in this particular thing. So if customer is very keen in those requirements, then we recommend them to have a separate data set. So in case if the GSTN sales and purchase entries which are made, okay, the expectation is like this. Sir, now I have actually maintaining both the GSTN in the same data set. I make the sale entry. So there might be a chance where I make sale to my own branch, Telangana. So when I make sale here, it should become purchase there automatically. No, it doesn't become automatically purchase entry. The separate entries has to be made for the respective GSTN. Only the consolidated outstanding can be used. Another use case or another scenario. Let's say there is a customer, Mr. Arun, who is there even in Karnataka branch, even in Telangana branch. So now I would like to know, but the ledger is one in Tally. Sir, I would like to know what is the outstanding of Arun in Telangana separately and Karnataka separately. No. And again, we have also some suggestions for the syncing data. For the different GST number, master configuration to be kept same for all branches. Okay, a return signing information will not be synced. What is this return signing? We will see. And in case of two-way sync, all HO information will be synced to all branches. And impact due to an increase in the data volume in the consolidated company definitely will be there. Okay. Yes, Abhishek, now I think I can take some questions. Can you please help me to read those questions?
Sir, the first question was that from Mr. Nandesh. My issue is related to GSTR1 for e-invoicing customers. After saving sales bill in GSTR1 report, it will show as source from e-invoice. But when we upload GSTR1 through Tally IT, it will remove in GSTR1 as a source from e-invoice and iron number in GSTR1 report.
I think Nandish is escalating something for the issue in 2.1, I believe. I'm not very clear with his question, so we'll connect with Nandish and to understand.
Yeah, sure. Second query was that regarding rounding off the including tax rate column in sales transaction posting for example, I'm putting the amount of including tax column in 250 rupees after taking 249.99 rupees. I think that this is also out of it. Yeah. So, sir, one question has came up. Please show the changes addition made to be in the master's part of multi GSTN.
Okay. Okay, I'll take this question. So, see, there is no changes made. The major changes made with respect to master creation. The one thing I have not shown here is now how to create this multi GSTN thing. Okay, let me just show you that first. Then I will take the question. So when you come here, so under GST configuration here, actually you can create the new registration. So now I have Karnataka and Telangana. So for example, now I would like to create for Andhra Pradesh. So you can choose Andhra Pradesh and you can create the another registration number. So like this, you can add new registration number. But when you go to the ledger, for example, let's say I'll go to a party ledger. So here there is no specific configuration which is done. Okay. So it is a common ledger for both the branches. suppose if you want to have a bifurcation saying that, okay, there is some ledgers which participate only in Telangana, Karnataka, that can be identified by using some remark, maybe under alias or with the name, you can put some abbreviate prefix or suffix so that it will help you to understand from which branch is. Okay, Abhishek, can you go to the next question?
Yeah. The question is that branch accounting in same state is possible.
Sorry, repeat once again.
Sir, branch accounting in same state is possible.
Okay, again, it's the question is again something different. So I have actually explained about the branch accounting. So when it comes to the branch accounting, the requirement are slightly different. Okay, so when I say branch accounting, let's say in this case, I have two branches, Karnataka and Telangana, and I'm maintaining, though I am actually using Multi GSTN, I may be maintaining this data in same company, but when it comes to the reports, I may require report in two ways. One is consolidated view and also the branch wise view. Okay. Because now in this case, we are maintaining the same data set in one company. You can always have a consolidated view, not branch wise view. Okay.
That is clear. Sir, next question is that when multi GST exports are happening simultaneously, then the credential need to be changed very often. How this is planned to be handled?
Okay, I think this question is about the credential for e-waybill and e-invoice. So the respectively it will ask. Okay, so when you actually send the request for a respective GSTN number, the login credential will be asked for that particular GSTN number. And if you are sending it for both and one by one, the credential will be asked.
Sir, another question is that may I fill GSTR-1 and GSTR-3B directly from Tally?
So it is, I think question is about filing return directly to connecting, like the connected services. No, currently even now it's the JSON file export only.
Okay, sir. So we have a couple of more questions. Sir, one question is that from Sandeep sir, if creditor customer having 3 branches and we need to maintain all in one ledger account, whether it is possible?
Yes, it's possible here, but when it comes to the reporting, okay, maybe for example, a supplier, a very valid question. There is one supplier, he's supplier in even Karnataka branch as well Telangana branch. Okay, so as an entity, it's one entity only. There is no two different GSTN of that supplier. So in that case, you can maintain in one ledger. Okay. But when it comes to the reporting, you will have always the consolidated view. For example, you want to know what is the outstanding payable to that particular supplier, you will get as a consolidated view. But what is the outstanding payable from Karnataka branch separately and from Telangana branch separately, you may not get that particular view.
Yes, sir, one question. What if my customer is operating from 2 states with 2 GST number? Can we have a single ledger and maintain in single ledger?
But that will not actually help, right? When it comes to filing return, that will have a problem because they have two different GSTN numbers.
Okay, sir. Sir, I think, sir, we can take questions later also, sir, because it keep coming up.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, a few more FAQs. So while raising GST invoice, can system pick up address with respect to the company address according to the GSTN? Yes, we can do this by enabling a multi-mailing option from F11 during the GST registration creation. Tally gives a flexibility to create the default billing address also. So I think I have shown that. Let me show you when you actually creating. So here we have an option to choose the address type. Okay, you can choose the address type. So in this case now Karnataka has become primary and Telangana is the another option. If you want to make it default as Telangana, you can make it as default as Telangana. Okay. No problem. I think Abhishek, what we will do, we will take those questions. If any questions has come, we will take at the end also. Okay. Keep just noting those questions. We will take it. Okay. Let's continue with the next thing, that is simpler and more flexible and still intuitive configurations. So what is that? Okay, let me explain again with some business use case here. So there will be cases in which the businesses GST reports will get impact, like if the party registration detail change from unregistered to registered, and your company's registration itself it is changing from regular to composite or composite to regular. And the third one is for some reason the status of the GSTN would become active or inactive. So these are three things which will impact their GST reports. So how these scenarios can be handled? Let me again explain with some business use case. KBCL Private Limited has many customers which were not registered at the beginning of the financial year, but got registered during GST during mid of the financial year. Now Praveen is in need to record all these transactions pertaining to such parties as B2B. So which were earlier recorded as B2C, because earlier there was no GSTN number as given. Now customer he has given the GSTN number. We want to raise B2C transactions such that he can get benefit of input tax credit. Okay. So how to handle those things? Let's see in TallyPrime 3.0, which gives a flexibility to business like KBCL Private Limited to handle these changes in GST registration types for their parties and also own company itself. Okay, the feature is effective date. So flexible to manage the changes in GST registration for companies or party. The customer with whom the business was dealing was not registered under GST, but got registered now. Okay, so now how to pass that transaction, we will see. So for that, what I'll do, I'll just go to the GST report. Let me first show you the transaction which are entered. So there are some 8 B2C transactions. Okay, and this single electricals appliances actually was not registered earlier and have entered these transactions in B2C. So that's why it is showing in B2C invoices. So now Single Electrical has called us and he said, boss, now we have registered and we have our registration number also. Okay, now what I will do, I will go to that particular ledger and I will change his registration type first from registration to regular. Sorry, from unregistered to regular. Then I'll give the registration number. The moment you press enter key here, so we will have an option now to put the new effective date. So the new effective date can be entered. So we have also given some options to choose here. If you want to choose, you can choose this current date of company, date of last entry, today or tomorrow. Those things are also available. Or you can click on a new effective date and enter the date here. So he has given from 20th May. So in my book now I am considering him as a registered dealer from 20th May. So now what happens when I go to the transaction entry for single electrical appliances after 20th May. So I'm passing a transaction on 22nd May now. I'm just accepting this transaction. So now let's go and see where it reflects. So now when you go to the GST reports and GSTR-1, this particular transaction in GSTR-1 is now showing in B2B transaction. The single electrical is been now shown in the B2B transaction from 22nd May. Okay. So you will have some questions. Please hold on. We will see one by one. Okay, let's see. The business was registered under GST as a composite dealer. Now I got registered as a regular dealer. How actually we can change it for the company itself? So let's see that. So under taxation, I'll just go and enable this GST option and I'll choose here Telangana registration. Let's assume for some reason this branch has been moved from regular to composition. So here also it will ask you to enter the effective date from which date this registration change has happened. Click on new effective date from 1st June. The registration type is changed. Now, when you go to the GST reports, you can see now for my company, it is showing both. Okay, it is actually showing GSTR-1 3B and also CMP 08 and GST-R4 because during the financial year, the company has actually have both the registration. That's why both the returns are displayed on the screen. Okay, the next use case is the flexibility to handle the temporary suspension or surrendering of registration of a company. Okay, this also might happen. So, for example, for a particular company, for some reason, it has been suspended for some time. Okay, so how to manage that? So I'm choosing Telangana registration here. See, this may be applicable even for the independent companies. Okay, since I'm actually showing demo in the same company, it is not that okay. It can be done only for the company which has got multi GSTN. Even for the independent companies, that would happen. So, but the demo I'm showing using the same demo data. Don't get confused with that, please. So I'm changing this day to inactive, and I'm putting the effective date from what date it has become inactive. So since now Telangana branch of mine has become now inactive, so now when actually I can't raise the tax invoice, right? So when you actually pass the transaction after the specified date, so now on 4th June I'm making a transaction, sales transaction. You can see for this particular transaction, the tax will not get computed. So it will become bill of supply. So GST and SGST is not calculated here, and it has become bill of supply. So now let's go to the registration once again. I will change this to active. For some reason now, okay, after 15 days or 1 month, it has become active. I'm changing this to active now. Again, you can put this effective date. And it's become active. So now when you go to the now voucher entry, after this effective date, I'm entering transaction on 18th June. So the 18th June now, when I pass a transaction, the calculation of this tax in this invoice should happen. Remember to see now, tax is getting calculated. It's a tax invoice. So now there are multiple changes happen to this, right? So where can I go and see those history? You can actually go on F11 and just go to that particular GST enablement screen, and there is an option called More Details button. Click on More Details. Under More Details, there is an option called GST Registration Detail History. So when you click on this, you will see the complete history of those changes which happened. Okay, so from 1st April it was active, then 1st May it is inactive, then inactive and again active. Okay, this is even true for the ledgers. For in any case, if the ledger is also having the similar kind of behavior, similar kind of the actionables need to be done in the ledger master. Okay. The next thing is flexible to define GST return effective date for sales or purchase transaction. Again, it's again a very useful and important thing for the accountants who are filing returns. Okay, people who are taking care of the filing returns. How these are very much required in the market for businesses. So let's see how actually return effective date in the transaction can be changed. For example, let's say there is one sales transaction here, Navin Tech. Okay, the sales which I have made, but for some reason, maybe goods not delivered. Okay, and for the in the same month. So I don't want to show this particular transaction in the same month return in November return. Okay, I would like to show this return, this particular transaction in month of December return. Okay, so changing the date in the transaction, it will impact your book of accounts. That should not happen actually, but only change should happen for your return. So how that can be done? So now what I will do, I will just choose this particular transaction. And there is an option given here, set effective date for return. So I will say 1st December. So what happens is, though in your book of accounts, this particular transaction is there in November month, but in the return, it will show for the month of December. So the another enhancement what we have done is, now when you go to this triangulation report, you will see here, okay, some bifurcation is done, and it will also show you here the total number of vouchers and current period, other period in a columnar format. So now you can see this particular transaction, which is now showing in month of December return. Hope this is useful. The same thing is applicable even for the purchase also. Okay, so if in case your supplier has sent the invoice but is not uploaded in the current month, you have already recorded that purchase transaction in the current month, but you want to push this to the next month return, the same action need to be done. Okay, to just bring that particular transaction to the next month return. Okay. The next is so the FAQ, can we put an effective date for a party address which has changed along with the changes in the registration type? Hope you understood this question. Can we put an effective date for a party address which has changed along with the change in registration type? For some reason, there is a change in address also for the party. So can this be done? Yes, you can do that. I'll just go here. For example, I'm altering a ledger, and in the ledger, I'll just go on more details, and there is an option called mailing detail history. Okay, here I want to change this from maybe 1st November. I want to update the address, different address. Okay. And you can save it. So what happens is, from that effective date, the updated address will be taken. Let's take the next business use case. Due to many business scenarios, there will be cases in which business need to insert, delete vouchers. Okay, they don't want to impact the subsequent sequential series, which may cause a terrible trouble later, right? So, so now definitely, though this deletion insertion, it happens regularly in a business. Okay, but while doing this kind of operation, it should not impact their book of accounts. I think many of you know, most of you know actually what is the behavior it happens in Tally, and this is one of the requirement which many customers were asking. So we'll see now how it is addressed. Okay, with one use case, for example, KBCL Private Limited has a data entry operator at multiple locations. which usually record the transactions on particular dates. But sometimes unintentionally, the voucher get missed. And it becomes an urgent need for the business to record these missed transactions. However, inserting any new voucher between the sequential series when you are using this automatic voucher numbering, which becomes a serious problem since it affects the cascading vouchers, right? So the cascading effect for the voucher number which happens. So it definitely gives further trouble for them. Even during the audit, they'll face the trouble. So since this transaction need to be recorded for the business accounting purpose, Mr. Praveen is looking for a flexible solution. So how that is addressed in TallyPrime release 3.0, flexibility to business like